show people how to take pictures, like from start to scratch, just being at home? Like, I'm out of the studio today and I'm like, I got banana bread. Why not just take some nice shots of this and kind of show people what the process is? This is gonna go into explaining basically when I just turn my camera on, like how is it I'm gonna approach the picture. So I have my camera on a tripod. So really, I'm trying to focus in on what aperture I want this. And the reason why I always think of aperture first is just because I want to dictate my depth of field. I want to show the banana bread, and I want to have these other components. I want to be able to incorporate so it's not just like a banana bread on a counter. So with the use of these dual boards and these props, this makes the shot a little bit more interesting. So as you can see here is I do have window light to camera left. If you can see here, I have my bounce card on camera right. So my aperture for this, I'm going with f4. All right, I tested a couple, and I'll show you a couple of these shots. And I found like f4 with the window light that I have coming from camera right, camera left, with my bounce card, and even the background itself, which is kind of a white brick. I feel like I'm good with light, so aperture set at f4. My shutter speed, let's see, let's switch. All right, so here, so I'm 1/250, which is my normal spot. However, I'm actually gonna drop my shutter speed because I have this on a tripod, so I can really manipulate my shutter speed. So I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go 1/125th of a second and take a shot there. And I think that's kind of what I'm gonna use. It has a nice depth of field with the shutter speed. So I'm gonna go to f4, 1/125th of a second, and I bumped up my ISO to 640. But here's what I'm thinking. Instead of bumping my ISO up to 640 to get the proper exposure, I'm gonna drop my ISO down actually to ISO 100, which is where I'm taking most of my pictures, and I'll explain why. Because I can manipulate my shutter speed, and I'm actually gonna go to a 15th of a second. 1/15th of a second is gonna be my shutter speed. And I feel like it's plenty bright. To eliminate camera shake, which I always recommend, is I'm gonna put this on a 2-second timer. And what a 2-second timer is gonna do, it's just gonna reassure me that I'm not gonna have any camera shake. I have a static display, I'm only worried about camera shake. So 1/15th of a second, f4, ISO 100. And I think that's money. Is it the world's best banana bread picture? No, it's not. But it's not intended to be. It's to explain to you how can you at home, start taking pictures of common household things. And let's say you did bake banana bread and you made it as like a business, a little side hustle. If you have a camera, you have another side hustle, why not use your camera to expand your other side hustle? And if you follow me, I'll explain to you how you, the normal Joe Blow citizen who has a little side business and has a camera, how can you as a small business owner take your own photos? Why not just follow along and I'll teach you how to shoot your own photography from your business or from your home. Oh, if you haven't already, have you hit that like and subscribe? Could you just tap it? Could you hook a brother up with a little like and subscribe? Could you do that for me? This looks like it's about 40 millimeters somewhere, and actually just north of 40. I'm gonna go to 50, get a little tighter shot. I don't want to go too much more because I'm gonna lose some of the props. I want to make sure the cutting board is in, and this is just over 50 millimeters on zoom. This is a 28 to 70, so I'm gonna go into just north of 50, take a shot. I like it, and just for good measure, get in a little tighter, and I'm gonna see if I go a tighter shot, which it's kind of a side lesson, but you do get more quote unquote compression with a longer lens. So I'm gonna go all the way out to 70, take a shot there, and you will see a little bit more compression. Now, if I put a 200 millimeter on here, I'd have to back the camera away, but essentially I would get compression even at like f4. I mean, f4 is doing the trick here for sure, but on a 200, and that's the thing, you have a longer lens, you should experiment and you could see how you can get kind of that compression effect, but that's a different lesson. And then just want to shout out to Frank, one of my new subscribers. Hey Frank, you've seen Frank in other videos, and you'll see Frank in many videos, and he kind of challenged me, like, how can you show people how to take pictures, like from start to scratch, just being at home? Like, I'm out of the studio today, and I'm like, I got banana bread, why not just take some nice shots of this and kind of show people what the process is? A lot of this was like the setup, like the creative side of it is like, how can I make this interesting, right? So certainly there's that. So you do need to do some type of setup. Now, you might not need a dual board. You may have a kitchen at home that you feel like you can take great photos on. I just wanted to have, I'd like to use, and you can make your own dual boards. You can go to Home Depot and kind of be creative. There's so many different things that you can do. I just happened to purchase a couple of these, and these allow me to kind of swap out fairly quickly the different scenes. So they're from V-Flat. So if you're interested, go to their website, V-Flat. Check out the dual boards. I'm not sponsored by V-Flat. I don't have any sponsorships at the moment, but we will. This whole lesson, and I'm gonna wrap it up by just saying this, is you will need to practice little photo lessons like this. It's not gonna take you that long. And to be honest with you, if you can figure out and start with your aperture, play with your shutter speed, and try to get your ISO to 100. I'm not saying you can never use your ISO. I'm just saying, especially if you have your camera on a tripod or a stable surface, you can kind of just get what you need through aperture and shutter speed and leave your ISO at 100. If you want to bump it up a little bit, you can. I just think it's technically good to understand how aperture and shutter speed are kind of your main two ingredients, kind of like banana bread. If I said to you, I'm hiring you to take banana bread pics, would you know how to do it? Could you execute this type of photo lesson? I want you to try it on your own, and I hope you go out and practice. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one.